Hi, I'm David Turner from Turner Suspension Bicycles. We're here in Las Vegas. This is Interbike 2009, but for 2010 product year. We're standing in front of my 5-spot now. The 5-spot, I got to start off by saying it is our #1 seller, and it has been since 2003. Regardless of the iteration, as obviously there's been quite a few since '03, it's always been our top seller. The bike was changed quite a bit in 1 year ago. We introduced the DW Link in Las Vegas at the trade show. It's 140 millimeters of travel, so it's really a 5.5 spot. And we use the Fox extra volume RP23 air shock on the back. Extra volume meaning it has a larger amount of air than a standard air can RP23. What that allows us to do is, for the few, it's not a huge number of people, but there will be people that want to run a coil spring, and the extra volume air can does allow a switch over without a big performance loss. This bike, like its siblings, the Sultan and the Flux, of course DW Link, we use journal bearings or bushings in all the pivots with grease fittings. I think I've mentioned in the past, we figured 3 to 5 years for between rebuilds with even periodic maintenance. It's a very tough system. We've been using the basic system for 15 years, and with the seals and the grease fittings and the Kevlar composite bearings with the hard anodized shafts, occasional grease in the harshest conditions will get probably many times, and I'm not exaggerating, over a ball bearing system that's more than likely going to rust and then start brittling or pitting, and then they just eat themselves up, and in some cases the frames that the bearings are pressed into. So, you know, we just improved upon it. For 2009, when we went to the DW Link, we went with bigger pivot shafts down low than we'd ever used in the previous 15 years. One of the things that we did change last year, and we're carrying forward, is a threaded grease fitting. They're custom made out of stainless steel to our specifications. They're very tiny. They are threaded in so that if you overpressurize the system while greasing, they won't go flying out across the shop to be lost in some pile of dust forever. So we're pretty happy with that. Like the Sultan and the Flux, also there is a post-mount rear brake system. Ends up being a very clean way to mount a post-mount caliper, which all the manufacturers now offer. The motorcycle world, high-performance street bikes, the use of that style brake mounting is extensive. Actually, they call it radial mounting, and it creates a really solid mount between the caliper and the frame. This year we're going with a color-matched rear ends. More and more people were asking for the rear of the bike to be painted to match, so we asked a few critical dealers and distributors if they'd like to see that. We showed up here in Vegas, and it seems unanimous that the dealers that we didn't ask are even commenting on how it looks so nice, so we'll continue with that. The other changes to 2010 over 09 is we just little changes, like we separated the cable guides so that you can get a zip tie tightly around a single cable end guide, as opposed to 09 where you had to use a single zip tie to go around 2 cables, which was a little harder to get enough tension on them. I know that's not a great big deal, but the bike was pretty darn good coming out of the gate last year.